Well, welcome back to our Project Plus dive. We're on domain 2.0, Project Lifecycle Phases, which is 30% of the test. And we're on point 2.3, given a scenario, perform activities during the project planning phase. So pay attention, given a scenario. That means it's story time on the test. Let's look at where we're getting this from. So we're getting this right from CompTIA's Project Plus certification exam objectives. So if we look down here, 2.0 right here. In fact, let's make this bigger. Much better. Project life cycle phases is 30%. And if we scroll down further, we are on quite a ways down. That means we're making progress. Happy day. Given a scenario, perform activities during the planning phase. Cool. Let's go. So, planning phase activities. So I think you're going to see a lot of these activities in the different phases continue and get tweaked in other phases. For example, we see develop a communication plan. It might need to change for this phase. But let's go through this step by step. We're going to need to understand and access the resource pool. So the equipment, the people, the budget. And make sure that we have what's necessary, the assets necessary to proceed and succeed. There's also some procurement that might need to happen here. The preliminary procurement needs assessment. Identify what vendors, whether it's for hardware or software, or resources that you'll need so that you can start to line them up to prevent delays in execution. So then you assign the project resources so that team members know what they're supposed to be doing. And it's usually based on skills, experience, and balancing of workload so that you can make sure the project proceeds in a timely manner and you prevent bottlenecks. Sometimes, in fact, I would say almost always, you need to train team members. Maybe it's just a little training on how the project's going to go, but sometimes it's a more in-depth training on how they're going to get their part of the job done, because maybe they don't quite have the soft or technical skills required to do that job yet. So part of the project is upskilling the team members if needs be. Develop a communication plan. Define how and when project updates will be shared, and that everyone's aligned with that. Make sure that there's a cadence for the meetings and there's the methodology. So whether they're daily meetings, weekly, or sometimes just monthly, the meetings are occurring so that the transparency is there. And then when it comes to the methodology or the tools you're going to use, is it email, Slack, in person? There's special software for it. So there's all sorts of options that can be used. Maybe Teams. Maybe it's Project, Microsoft Project. So develop a detailed scope statement. Clearly define the deliverables, the boundaries of the project, and define maybe what will happen if things need to change a little bit. So for scope creep, ensure alignment among the stakeholders on what's needed and required for this project. So planning phase activities continued. Define the work of units. So you are going to want to break down larger tasks into smaller ones so that you can have them on your backlog and assign them appropriately at the times and place in the different project life cycle. Develop a project schedule. With that, you have how fast things are going to go, the cadence. And sometimes you need to apply more people to it so that you can keep up. Which, if you're applying more people, that usually means you're spending more budget. So understanding the trade-offs there. Not always, though. Sometimes by applying more people, you speed up the process, and because you finish early, it's either a wash or sometimes you even save budget. So you need to be thinking about the budget considerations. So existing labor, the materials. What about if something comes up that was unexpected? So what is your contingencies? And then also just the overhead costs. A project manager themselves is overhead. So having a project going that they're assigned to is cost. So prevent financial shortfalls. Make sure that you stay within your funding constraints. Develop a Q&A plan. Understanding the standards that are for that. Make sure the stakeholders agree. Have testing strategies and following up to make sure that it's done correctly. And continuously try and improve this. Perform an initial risk assessment. Identify the potential risks early on as much as possible. And make strategies to overcome them. Now, risks can't always be identified. For the ones that can, you should list, are they a financial risk? Are they technical? Are they operational? Where does the risk fall? Develop a transition plan and a release plan, because just because you have a project and you kind of get to the end doesn't mean it's going to be able to keep going. So equip the end users and the support staff with the skills needed to be successful and use it. One of the worst things to do is work really hard on projects, spend a lot of money, and then you turn it over and people decide not to use it. Probably a project that maybe shouldn't have been done in the first place, or if it did need to be done, the transition wasn't done well. And make sure that things are implemented so there's some continuous improvement or training sessions as needs be. When it comes to go live, that's the official launch of the deliverable, kind of going from the development of the project side into the operational side. Marking that transition and celebrating it, ensuring that all necessary tests have been performed, the training to get the operational side up to speed on it has happened, and everything's in place for go live so that you can be successful there. And then hand things off to the operational side. Transfer the responsibility of the team from the project team to the operational team. There's internal audiences, like the employees within the organization, and then there's external audiences, so the clients, the suppliers, and those all need to a slightly different transition plan. So the people who are operating it need to know what's going on, but also the people that are using it, even if they're external, they need to be involved in the transition plan. And develop a project management plan. So establish your baselines, the fixed references that represent the approved scope, schedule, and cost. Establish a minimal viable product. If you can get a minimum viable product out and used, you can get better feedback to make small iterations to make a better project than maybe what you would have thought about when you started. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll see you in the next video.